Hello, welcome back Book Fanatics. I'm Carly, also known as Certified Book Fanatic, and today I will be doing my monthly wrap-up for April. Now, for this month, I planned on reading 8 books, but I only accomplished to finish reading 6 of them. Unfortunately, April was super busy for me because being a college student, April is super chaotic because that is the month for exams, well, for me anyways, and so whenever exams are going on, reading is definitely not my top priority, so any free time that I had, I spent studying and preparing for my exams, but I did manage to finish 6 books. So for this wrap-up, I will be talking about the books that I read and what I rated them. The first book that I read for the month of April was Define Me by Tahara Mafi. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. I think that I am, but I'm not too sure, so I don't want to say it very confidently and be like, I'm right. So I feel like I have to mention that I don't know if I'm saying her name right every time. But Define Me is the 5th book in the Shatter Me series. Originally, Tahara was going to stop the series after Ignite Me, but I'm so thankful that she continued to write Restore Me and Define Me, and also I think 2 more novellas. So I'm so happy for that because the story just got like so much more, I don't know, it's just like advanced so much. And I rated Define Me a 4 out of 5 stars. I think that's a super good rating for this book. I really enjoyed it. It cleared up so much stuff that was left like blurry and uncertain in Restore Me, and it just explained so many things, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Define Me was the first book that I read for the month of April. The second book that I read for the month of April was a super popular book for this month, or maybe last month. I don't know, but it is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. Whatever, Bridget Kemmerer? I don't know, I feel funny saying Kemmerer. But, yeah, I rated this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I know a lot of you guys really loved it and rated it 5 out of 5 stars, but there were some aspects where I was just like, this is so... And of course it's going to be unrealistic because it's a YA retelling and YA fantasy, but, and YA fiction, so not real, but it was just so unrealistic. Like, this girl named Harper gets stolen away to this magical kingdom that's like a completely different world than where she lives at. She lives in modern day Washington, D.C., and all of a sudden she is like stolen away into this kingdom where knights still exist and you ride horses and carriages, and like of course she misses her family, but she doesn't think twice about the fact that she's in a completely different world. And so I feel like that dropped my rating a lot because I was just like, this is so crazy. I don't know. Like, she didn't even know that world existed, I don't think. And so just the idea that it just came about and she was just like, oh, okay, was just, I don't know, it was just silly. My favorite character was Gray. If you've read this book, then I hope that you also like Gray. But yeah, I rated this a 3 out of 5 stars. I feel like that's a decent review for this book. The third book that I read was Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. This book is self-published. I think all of this author's books are self-published. So I was super interested to see how well she did writing these books. But overall, she did a great job. I really enjoyed this book. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars because it was a really good story, but of course there was some problems and mistakes with typos and sentence structures, and it was just very similar to A Court of Mist and Fury. I think I've talked about this. I don't know, have I? I don't know, but it was just very similar to A Court of Mist and Fury, and so it was just like, it's a little strange. So yeah, 3 out of 5 stars for Rhapsodic. The next book that I read was Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I know a lot of you guys have read it. A lot of you guys absolutely love it. I wouldn't say that I loved it, but I really, really liked it. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's been my favorite book in the series so far. So if you haven't read this series, definitely check it out. Read the synopsis for it. I promise you it is worth it. The hype that is around it is definitely deserved. But yeah, it follows a girl named... I was just reading Ruin Rising yesterday. Alina. How can I forget? The main character is Alina, and she is a commoner. Well, she thinks she's a commoner, but she's actually not. She actually has a power, but I won't say what the power is. But yeah, she figures out she has a power in this book, so it's really good. I highly recommend it. Okay, so moving on to the last book that I read this month, which is the 5th book. So I made a mistake. I said that I've read 6 books, but I only read 5, but that's okay. But that was Siege and Storm, which is the 2nd book to the Grishaverse trilogy, obviously by Leigh Bardugo. I can't tell you what this book's about because it would spoil Shadow and Bone for some of you, But I rated this book, I don't know, I rated this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars, as I said in my last video. But yeah, I'm moving on to Ruin and Rising for the month of May. I've already started it, but I won't finish it until May. So that will be on my monthly wrap up for May. So hopefully I really, really like it. I'm really excited for it. Okay, that was my monthly wrap up for April. I've never done those before, so I'm sure that was really, really bad and not the norm for wrap-ups, but hey, you gotta learn and you gotta practice. Practice makes perfect. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!